So welcome and thank you for joining us in this inaugural webinar series. Some of you know, but my name is Jim Gavin, and along with Nicolo Bernardi at the Center for Human Flourishing at Concordia University, we are so delighted to have you with us today. So as we settle in and take a breath, I want to respectfully acknowledge that Concordia University is located on unceded indigenous lands. The Gayankaihaga Nation is recognized as the custodians of the lands and waters where we gather today, and Montreal has long been a meeting place for so many Indigenous peoples. So it is now my great pleasure to introduce Aruni Nan Futuronsky. Aruni is a writer, teacher, facilitator, coach, and legacy faculty member of Kripalu Center for Yoga and Health. Her work has touched thousands of people for decades. She identifies compassion, gratitude, and, not to forget, humor as cornerstones of her practice and of the relationships she fosters with others. In her work, she helps people navigate life more skillfully and, might I add, more soulfully, which captures essential qualities of her presence and teaching. Many people know Aruni through her long association with Kripalu Center, where she has taught since 1990, and become especially known through her work in the Inner Quest Intensive, Kripalu's signature retreat and longest-running off-the-mat yoga program. Her work invites people into deep self-observation without judgment, helping them recognize old patterns and reconnect with what is most authentic in themselves. Aruni is also a prolific writer. Her books include Not Over Yet, Simple Strategies to Struggle Less and Savor More. May we all be able to do that. Recovering My Voice, a memoir of chaos, spirituality, and hope. And Already Home, Stories of a Seeker. And Aruni said in our pre-session that she's not going to write another book, so she thinks, but that's her thought for today. It may change tomorrow. So I also want to add a personal note. I first met Aruni more than 30 years ago at Kripalu Center when she was part of the Inner Quest leadership team, and I was a participant. The work was so profound that it still touches me to today. And 30 years later, in 2025, I re-entered this program with Aruni once more at the helm, and it was even more magical. Indeed, I think Aruni herself had become more magical with age. Her wisdom simply feels deeper, her humanity somehow both gentler and more powerful. And she moves effortlessly, in my opinion, between wisdom and playfulness, opening people in ways that are both joyful and profound. And so we are so fortunate to have her with us today. Please join me in welcoming Aruni Nan Futuronsky.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Jim. It's wonderful to be here. It's a privilege and it's a blessing. And I'm just delighted to have this opportunity to talk about a topic that I have so much passion about, the power and the practice of presence. What I like to do in our time together is to have a couple guided meditations so we could really look inside to be able to locate the willingness and the resistance, the yeses and the nos. Like, yeah, being present, great idea when it's a good moment. What about when it's a hard moment? And how many hard moments do we have in each day? So I'd like us to have a little conversation. I'll be doing the talking, obviously. If you have paper nearby, feel free to write down anything that resonates for you, that touches you, that opens you, that you notice. We'll have a couple of little exercises planned, and I want to talk about tethers. How do we tether ourselves in the moment when life is pulling us in how many directions at the same time? I really do believe life's job is to take us away, and our job is to practice coming back home. That dynamic is natural and rich and potentially so remarkably brilliant, and that's great practice. So let's talk about practice. I think as Westerners, we really don't understand the depth of practice. Practice isn't checking it off the to-do list. Practice is bearing the parts of ourselves that are still like, I don't want to practice. But before any of that, I suggest we start our time together energetically, that we acknowledge the magic, the synchronicity that's brought us all here today. So if it works for you, find a way of sitting that supports your inner gaze. It might be exactly as you're sitting, or you might want to take a moment to just kind of wiggle around in your chair and let your eyes be either softly closed or softly opened. There is no right, wrong. There is no, the only thing to do is to practice being where we are. So with eyes soft, softening the gaze, whether your eyes are opened or closed, take a moment and notice, just notice the posture, the asana, the art of sitting. Notice the places where the chair, the couch, whatever, touch against your legs, your back. Bring your awareness to those points of sensation. Breathe right there. Good. Imagine your sitting bones, those deep bones at the base of your spine. Imagine they could drop roots effortlessly through the chair, through the floor, through the foundation, inviting these roots to return to the earth, our mother. And as you breathe, effortlessly breathe grounded earth energy up into your spine. Notice the crown of your head and imagine its effortless reconnection to the heavens. Imagine, too, perhaps a golden thread running from your crown right up to the heavens. And as you breathe down, just imagine the possibility of being filled with that cosmic power as we sit between earth and sky. Some say mother and father, as we sit in this moment, right here, right now. Good. Bring your awareness to the sensations of breath in your body. More about that in a moment. But right here and right now, just notice, do you have a hope or a prayer, an affirmation, a blessing for yourself? If there be one, just receive it. Let's practice being the recipient rather than the generator. What are you hoping for? What's alive in your heart? And if there be a prayer and an affirmation, offer it onto the altar of your heart. Swami Kripalu said, "A prayer once given lives forever. May you be forever and always blessed by the prayerfulness in this moment." Take a good breath in and a good exhale. Let's send our prayers through our bodies, around our circle, around our planet. And prayer does not change reality. It softens our grip on it as we release our attachment to the outcome. Om Shanti, peace. May all beings benefit from our time together. And if it works to give your heart a little pat, 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 any stretching, take a moment as we release our inward focus Coming back to the outside world. Great. Maybe shake out a hand or two or three. No, two. Only two. We only have two. Any wiggling? Good. Good, good, good. So the practice of being present in the moment, the power and the practice of presence. It's such a funny and ironic thing. It's so ridiculously simple in one way. When you sit, sit. When you walk, walk. When you breathe, be there for the breathing. But yet, doesn't it seem as if life pulls us in how many directions? And for me, spiritual practice is the commitment to continue without making the external pull wrong, to continue practice coming back to the moment. So what are the obstacles? Like, what happens when we're not in the moment? What's the cost of that? I would say, oh my goodness, missing out on life, health compromises and challenges, right? Relationships that are founded in yesterday rather than right here and right now. Physical health, emotional health, energetic health. To be present in the moment is where life is happening. Yeah, I had such an experience last spring. Something happened at home and I was a little squabbly with my spouse, like driving to work. My work's about 10 minutes away, like mumbling, and I was like sort of mumbling, getting out of the car, mumbling. I was walking down the hill toward the building at Kripalu, and there was a bird, the first spring bird I had heard. And it's just like this, like meditation gong, like bird, like wake up, like that's not even here now, right here, right now. Right here, right now, the practice of being present in the moment. What does it mean? I think it means the humility to be with what is, to find right-sized relationship with what's happening. And for me, that's a whole lot of work about I'm not in charge. I don't know if anybody identifies with that. Anybody identify with I'm like that overblown sense of control, the illusion of control. How about the illusion of control subgroup, right? That's not to say there aren't things to do, but to practice doing and letting go and releasing our attachment to the outcome. I could be active, but I know what I want to happen, so letting go of that, the practice of being with what is, taking action, letting go of the outcome, taking action, letting go of the outcome. And I think the gifts of being in the moment are a rich life. It's been a very long winter down here in New England. A winter held on and held on and held on. It's been pretty intense. And finally, there's wonderful blossomings, like the greens are coming out. It's thickening. I'm looking out the window. The birds are back. Unbelievable, huh? So to be present in the moment to me means to be with what's happening in right-sized relationship, right? To be present in the moment in right-sized relationship. So we're going to do some practicing of that. Why bother doing it? Because to not be in the moment is so costly, physically, energetically, emotionally costly. But I realize the spiritual practice for me means not to make the old ways wrong. Well, I did say humility is to be present with what is happening, to be present with what's happening as it's happening, and then to take action, to be present in the moment. I know I used to do a lot of political work a long, long time ago, like take action, but I wasn't really present with what I felt about it. Like to be present with what is, and then to take action is a much more impactful and effective way of being in the world. I wish I could ask you questions. So just what does this mean to you? Maybe that's something you can consider. What does this mean to you? What's the cost for you of not being here, of not being present? What are the obstacles that block you from being present? What are the obstacles that block you? I would say life itself, every single thing. The news, for example, we're not talking about it, and schedules and responsibilities and even good things. Yes, it's anxiety. I identify with the anxiety, and then to get in bed at night and go like, what just happened? Like, where Where was I? So spiritual practice, I think, really means the capacity to not make wrong all the times we leave. It's that wonderful, wonderful poem by Rumi, the ecstatic poet, who says, "Come, wanderers, worshippers, lovers of leaving. Ours is not a caravan of despair. Whether you've broken your vow 100 times, come, the door is round and open." So it's a practice. It's a practice. It's a practice. It's a practice. I'd like us to do a couple of exercises. How does that sound? Yes. Thumbs up. Exercises. Yes. Just talking, 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 whatever. So this is a guided meditation. So in your own way, whatever that means to you, however you want to reel in your awareness. I sometimes think of it, I don't fish. I do not fish. But I think of a fishing rod, like reeling in my awareness, coming back to yourself. Coming back to yourself. I want to talk about breath for a while. So let your eyes be soft. And I invite you to remember a time in the past couple weeks in which you were anxious, in which you were stressed, in which you were busy, busy, busy. Just notice. Just notice what comes to you. Remembering a time. Be specific. Pick one. Maybe you have more than one. Pick one. What was happening? Where were you? Were you alone? What are you wearing? What's the temperature in the room? How does your body feel in this memory of stress or anxiety? And now notice the quality of breath. What's the breath like? Just notice what the breath is like. Just notice what the breath is like. And then take a good breath. Let's let go of that. Do not need that. Do not need that. Washing free, wash away with breath. Let it go. And now remember a time in the past couple months, past couple weeks, in which you felt relaxed and easy. Pick one. Be specific. And remember, dive into the details of that memory. Where were you? What was happening? Are you alone? What's the temperature in the room? How does your body feel in this memory of relaxation and ease? And now notice the quality of breath. What's the breath like in this memory of relaxation? Just notice. Good. Take another few breaths. And then let's let go even of this. So another good breath in. And just relax and let your eyes open if they aren't already. So it does seem to me, in moments of tension, we hold the breath. We hold the breath. And when we breathe and relax, the breath comes and goes more easily and more fully. You know, the remarkable nervous systems in our being really, really. I think of my dog, Zach Joe Doodle, who's no longer with us. He had this bunny thing. He's a guy who liked his bunnies. So he was on leash a lot. We're walking down the road and there's a bunny like over there. And Zach's like, "Bunny." And meanwhile, the bunny's like, "I'm not really here. I'm not really here." Like that holding the breath. So the breath constricts. And when we breathe, you know, the sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system, the shift through we can literally shift gears. So I want to encourage us all to practice breathing. How you practice breathing. If you do yoga, I know at Kripalu, I think our yoga teachers say like 82 times in the class, breathe, breathe, because it's the bridge between the mind and the body. I want to come back to the body. I want to come back to the breath and the body. The breath is a remarkable tool. Maybe you do yoga, that would be good. Maybe you do something aerobic, something that helps you befriend the breath. So when you need it, you could remember to breathe. I love prompts. I'm a big prompt person. At every red light, take 3 deep breaths. Something that you do consistently in the course of the day, right? If you work in an office or when you're at your desk, every time you get an email, take 3 deep breaths. I have a client who's a therapist, and when she gets up, it goes and reaches for the doorknob. She takes a couple breaths. So see if you could link breath, because the breath will bring us back. The breath integrates everything. It's the great integrator. So let's take another breath or so. And a good exhale. Good. We have a methodology of Kripalu that we call riding the wave. Breathing, relaxing are the ones I want to talk about. Breathing and relaxing. So the breath is really the doorway into the moment. And the good news is we're breathing. Yay, we're already breathing. But to bring our awareness to it, that would be the challenge. And to be okay with all the times that we're not doing it. And just to remember, like Rumi says, the door is round and open. So breath, first tool, breath. I want to say something about relaxation. I know when I was younger, relaxation would equal a lot of Chinese takeout. Probably television, maybe National Geographic on mute, like that. But I'm talking about a more body-centered kind of relaxation. So let's have another exercise, shall we? Let your eyes be soft, open to closed. And I ask you, please make a fist out of your dominant hand. That's it. And all you need to do is hold that fist. Make it tighter. Make it tighter. Make it as tight as you can bear it. And notice the sensations, the constriction, the sensations of tension. Hold it as tight as you can hold it for the next minute or so. Hold that fist. Hold that fist. Good. Take another couple breaths, even tighter. And now, keeping the tension in your fist, keeping that in place, wiggle your toes. Relax and moisten your lips. How do you relax lips? Soften your lips, keeping the tension in place, right? Take a good breath into your belly. Good. Imagine you could soften the upper arm of holding the lower arm. Imagine relaxing all around. Possible. Is it possible to have the stress in your hand as you relax around it? How does that change? Take another minute or so as you explore that. And then in your own way, begin to let go and be gentle letting go. Often for some of us, it's so much easier to hold on than it is to let go. Subgroup. Opening up your hand slowly. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your hand. Give yourself a little wave. Good. So just notice, relaxing around sensations brings us back into the moment, relaxing around what is. I thought growing up, being an adult on the planet meant controlling everything so I wasn't anxious or stressed, like controlling the outside. And I am learning as I age that it's like that doesn't work. not effective, not effective. We want to flourish. How do you flourish? By being present with what's happening, but to soften around it. Oh, I know, like yoga on the mat, of those of us who do yoga, yoga brings mindful tension into the body. If you're doing Tadasana, the mountain, like it's a conscious decision. I'm going to raise my arms in the air. Arms don't go in the air. We're like turning up the stress, and then practicing softening and relaxing around the tension. So I guess the message here is tension's inevitable, and some moments of practicing presence might be the spring birds, the buds, the pussycat purring, our loved ones' laughter, all that wonderful, delicious things. And some of it might be hard. Life is crazily strange. It's a very extraordinary time to be alive. And I believe that if we're alive now, we're meant to be here. We're meant to bear witness. We're meant to take care of ourselves with kindness and to bring that kindness to one another. So I'd like you to think about breathing and relaxing around the moment. I'm going to ask for questions in a couple minutes, but I have one more piece I want to talk about. I want to talk about tethers, how to tether back. Because again, I just watch myself as the day rolls, as the day rolls on. Like does anybody speed up? I find myself getting faster. I live in a beautiful place and little country roads, and I find myself driving to the grocery store like I'm like driving fast. Like the grocery store is open. It's 10 minutes away. It's open for 7.5 more hours. And I'm like rushing. I'm like going to the grocery store. So breathing and relaxing for me and for a lot of the people I've worked with are really good ways to slow down. What else can tether us? What else can tether us? I think it is absolutely essential that each of us have a practice. Like what do you love? What's renewing? What's renewing? What's satisfying? Anybody take baths? Is there a bath subgroup? I really like baths. I actually find it exhausting to stand in the shower. It's like, that's not right, standing up in the shower. That doesn't seem right. It seems like there has to be like some kind of laying down involved in hot, warm water, and and then like the candle and the lavender and the Epsom salts and all the good things we could put in there. Whatever you do, whatever you love to do, give it to yourself. Do you dance? Do you listen to music? Do you play music? Do it. That will strengthen our capacity to be present. And I know it's way too easy to get busy, and to forget about the things that are so renewing and so deliciously helpful. So I'm really encouraging us all, standing outside forest bathing. You don't have to jog, you don't have to swing from the trees. Stand outside and let the elements, the glory of nature rebalance our nervous systems. Tethers. If you meditate, it's such a wonderful practice of being present in the moment. Because again, what we notice is the tap dancing mind. Anybody have a tap dancing mind? Next thought. I sometimes like to meditate on sound. Like I just sit. I thought maybe we could do that for a moment. Let's do that for a moment with a couple more minutes before we go to questions. So let your eyes be soft again. One or two more little experiences. Breathe and relax. Notice the sounds around you. Bring your awareness to sound. Imagine your ears could blossom open even wider, blossoming into embracing more sounds. And just sit and breathe and listen to sound. Sound as a tether. Sound is a returning back to this moment. Good. Take another minute or so. And then releasing that, coming on back. If there's anything you're noticing, just jot it down. Anything you want to remember, jot it down. Tethering. It's like creating a little landing pad for ourselves. Of course, there's breath. For those of us who meditate, some people, I find my clients, some people are comfortable using breath as a tether. And the breath doesn't work for everyone. But just to take a moment to remember the power of breath, as we said earlier. Where do you notice breath? Do you notice it in your belly? Rise and fall of your belly, your chest, around your upper lip or nostrils? Let's take a moment and just sit and notice the breath. And of course, whenever you notice your mind thinking about the next event that hasn't happened yet, lunch, the class, the responsibility, the kid, the sick person that you love, whenever you notice the thinking, come back to breath. Breath as a tether. Breath as a return point. And the good news is, like I said, we are already breathing. Take another minute or so and see what's there for you. What are you noticing? And then as you feel ready, you can let that go. I saw somebody mention pets. Without a doubt, my dog, Mickey, she does not need to be part of this workshop because she's actually here. She's sleeping on my pillow. There are 8 pillows on the bed. She has to sleep on top of my pillow. But putting that aside, she doesn't need to like participate in this because she's already there. Animals are such great partners in presence, right? Such great partners in presence. So let's not forget about the animal companions that have blessed us. Yes, yes, yes. Hearts, a lot of hearts for animals. What else? I wonder what else for you. Movement, of course. Whatever you do, it's spring now. We all have to start moving more, right? I certainly need to start moving more. The winter down here was pretty rigorous and did not want to leave us. So it's got my bike ready to go. Got an electric bike so I could deal with the hills. I realized as I got older, it was harder and harder to get up the hills, and I wasn't getting out. So I have a fabulous electric bike. It counts. I'm here to say it counts. Legs go like that. Breathe air. It's all good. So please, this last question I have for you, I really want you to consider. Oh, this gardening. People always talk about gardening, of course. I'm not a gardener, but I'm a lawnmower. I like my mowing. I like the instant gratification. Look, it's gone. The grass is mowed down. It's very satisfying. I'd like you to think about, so now what? What are you going to take into your day? What do you want to remember from our very brief time together? What do you savor? And how could you continue to prioritize that? My friend Jamie used to write into her schedule, Wednesday night, bath with self. Because she said she'd do 18 other things besides taking a bath. So let's prioritize. And let's remember practice is honoring the forgetting, not making the forgetting wrong, and keep coming back, slowing down. Thank you. Slowing down. Take breaths through the day to stop and breathe, says Deborah, etc., etc., etc. Let's take a good breath in and a good exhale. Good. I thought we could take a couple minutes and hear some of your comments and questions, and then I would like to end with an ending, little metta meditation for our ending. So, what are the questions, Niccolo?
Questions will be coming through the chat. Please post them.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I will bring up a question myself as to get us started. And please, everybody, fill the chat with your questions. On my end, Aruni, I used to be somebody who was 100% into the slowing down, be present, etc. Right, and then kids came, and that brought a very different flavor to my life, where I think I have come to a different appreciation or relationship with acceleration and multitasking and ever-present busyness. And maybe adding to that more recently, the whole AI bandwagon that I have lots of interest in. That's also an incredibly accelerated type of experience. And as I grapple with my past kind of appreciation for slowing down and my present appreciation for speeding up, I am sometimes confused as to how do I reconcile these two forces, these two aspects of life, both of which at this point I feel like I am to embrace, but yet that sometimes take me completely out of whack.
I'm sure there's a lot of identification, Niccolo, with this question. How do we do it? We practice. We just practice and we notice. One of the core teachings that Kripalu is, that Swami Kripalu offered us, is self-observation without judgment is the highest spiritual practice. So I'm really happy to share that with you today, to be able to notice our own behavior and not make it wrong. And then to lean in the direction we choose to go in. I often find opposite behavior, opposite direction is what I need to balance. Like type A people, you don't need to do type A yoga. You got that. So if your day is busy, 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 finding a part in your day to slow it down. And for those of us that are a little heavy-bodied this time of year, sort of kick it up a bit. So I think just the ongoing practice of noticing self-observation without judgment is the highest spiritual practice. To notice, 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 and then the Ayurvedic brilliant leaning in the opposite direction brings balance. So I would encourage all of us to take those as sort of a container in which we can just live. Nothing ever changed in my life through force. I mean, I could lose weight, but can I continue to lose the weight? Can I eat in a way that's sustainable? You know, I could do the extreme, of course I can, but can I find the balance within the old behavior, the new behavior, the old behavior, the new behavior? So practice is my response. Nicola, great question. Thank you.
How do we manage presence with global chaos and worry?
That is the question of the hour, isn't it? How do we practice? I have to find some balance between being informed and walking away. I feel, for me, as an old woman, as a lesbian, as a Jew, I need to know what's going on. But I cannot take that with me into the day. And then I really don't see the beauty around me. I don't see the glory around me. So I have been experimenting with, I have some guidelines. Do not pick up the phone when I'm in bed. Do not scan while I'm in bed. I could look at it later. I used to listen to public radio a lot more than I am. Now I listen to chanting on the way to work rather than the news. But I can't deprive myself of it. I just have to put it in a part of my life that's contained. Again, if we're here, if we're alive now, I absolutely believe that we are meant to be here, to be with ourselves with kindness, and to bear witness to one another with kindness. And from that, we just get to practice. It's like an acceleration, or like somebody saying internet, no internet before blank. I have a friend who talks about her meditation practice as, let me get it right, WPIT. S. Wake, pee, sit. I love that. Like to have a practice in place where you don't look at the devices until the connection with self is in place. Great questions. If anybody has an answer, let me know. Practice, practice, practice. Looks like maybe time for one more, and then we have a metta meditation. How does that sound, Niccolo?
Absolutely. Great. Are we still allowed to be angry at things?
I think we have to be angry at things. What's that great saying? I hear people down here saying, if you're not angry, you're not paying attention. We have to be angry. How could we not be angry? What the hell, you guys? What the hell's going on here? How do we not be angry? And yet to not live there, to not live there, to not live there, to find, like we've been saying, the things that restore us, to like feel the anger, to give it back. That's kind of my practice, to feel the anger, to give it back, to feel the anger, to give it back. So I think my answer to all of these questions is just to practice with kindness and gentle rigor. I know gentle rigor is a bit of a contradiction, but like the rigor that like I can't go to bed angry. I really practice that with my wife. We just can't do that. We just have to have some boundaries and some guidelines. So whatever you're going to ask me, the answer is practice. How about that? So let's take a breath. And let your eyes be soft. If there be a part of your body wanting healing or touch, take a moment and put a hand on there. And here's my metta, my loving kindness prayer that was given to me that I am very blessed to offer to each of your hearts. May I be present. May I be whole. May I ride the waves of my life. May I live in peace, no matter what I'm given. May I be present. May I be whole. May I ride the waves of my life. May I live in peace, no matter what I'm given. May I be present. May I be whole. May I ride the waves of my life. May I live in peace, no matter what I'm given. And as is, I believe, our moral responsibility, once we're connected to self, to offer that spiritual doorway to each other. So let's send our loving kindness to all of us, all 100 and whatever that number says, people, 180 some people, our Sangha, our community of heart. So imagine you could send this prayer through your body and touch the hearts of all the people we're sharing this time together. May you be present. May you be whole. May you ride the waves of your life. May you live in peace no matter what you're given. May you be present. May you be whole. May you ride the waves of your life. May you live in peace no matter what you're given. May you be present. And please notice as you offer it out, you receive it back many, many, many folds. And now expanding our prayerfulness, opening the arms of our blessings, bringing into this circle loved ones, family, friends, colleagues, employees, employers, neighbors, the ones we love, and the ones we don't like very much, the ones that think like us, the ones that don't, all of us, every one of us, here and there and everywhere. Let's imagine loving kindness surrounding our planet. May we be present. May we be whole. May we ride the waves of our lives. May we live in peace no matter what we're given. Om Shanti, peace. Give us the courage to let go of our attachment to our prayers so we can be right here and right now. And may all beings benefit from our time together. Namaste, Jai Bhagwan. The light in me celebrates the light in you. Thank you so very much. It's a privilege and a blessing. I was saying to Jim and Niccolo, save me a seat, okay? Much big love to you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the privilege and the blessing. Thanks for the work you do.
Thank you so much, Aruni. We're going to wrap it up here. I'm going to put in the chat the link to the series where, if you feel compelled to, you will find a donate button to support this work. And I invite everybody to come again together for May 28th. Listen the Heart, Flourishing Metaphors and Presence, our next talk in the series. There originally was supposed to be one 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks from now. That one will be rescheduled for the fall. So see everybody on May 28th. Thank you so much.